Good morning and welcome to Tuesday. You look awesome. I know you got through Monday. I know it was a little bit tough, but look at you this morning. You're looking so hot. Seriously, speaking of hot, Mr. Murphy.
The sun is coming up again.
Yay, before the snow.
Would you stop?
I know, but we have to. We have to tell people.
I got to sit outside yesterday.
Did you?
Yes, I got home. We sat out. We have a fire pit. We didn't use the fire pit.
You know what? Jim wanted to do that
He
Sunday.
dug the whole thing out. And
Yeah.
a little bench
Oh my
in the
God.
snow with like little cushions, and we sat there and we can't wait until we can get a permit to have a fire.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. You know what? I just love this time of the year. Because even like if it snows or if it gets cold again, you can almost convince yourself that it might be the last time for this year. Right?
I would have convinced myself of that yesterday if you hadn't burst my bubble during the show and told me that we were getting 10 centimeters of snow
10
on
centimeters
Thursday.
of snow by Wednesday night. Yeah.
And then also that it's going to drop down to minus 16 again.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Minus 16 is not minus 30, right?
No. And I
minus
guess,
16 also isn't zero, is it?
I also heard a rumor that that's only going to be a little while, and then next week it's going to be nice again.
Yeah, we're coming right back to it next week. So just a couple of days. Hang in there.
So is March going to come in like a lion, or
I wonder.
If it comes in like a lion,
out like a lamb.
What happens if it comes in like a lamb? Does it go out like a lion?
Sometimes.
I don't know what those rules are about March.
If it comes in like a lion, then it's going to taper off and just bring us gently into spring.
So we want that?
We want that.
So I want a storm at the beginning of March?
Yeah. Or at the end of February.
So
which could be Wednesday night. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll take
right?
that. Okay.
Right?
You know what? Always look on the bright side of life. Now you know what's going to happen?
What?
We're going to get kicked off YouTube because I just sang that song and not licensed for it.
Way to go, Tim.
If you ever go to look for us on View on Demand and we're not there, it's because one of us has sung something that does not licensed, and we get in trouble for it and they yank it because the algorithm shows up, or a musical guest.
And I don't sing, so
it's always
just
me.
take it from there.
It's Wine and Cheese Day.
Did I say thank you to KC Security? I'm sorry.
I don't know if you did.
Thank you to KC Security. We're starting to finish each other's sentence now.
Yes. Wine and Cheese Day. A lot of these days are about you these days.
Well, you know.
Wine and cheese. Do you like wine and cheese?
Best party is a cocktail party. Starts about 4 o'clock. So it's kind of an afternooner. And you just make up a nice charcuterie board, and you got lots of different kinds of cheese and some funky crackers, and you just stand around. You start with wine, you turn to vodka though, because wine will give you a headache in the morning. So just start off with wine, get through the cheese, and then drink vodka.
I would drink a sparkling fruit juice or something. Not wine. I don't.
You don't like any wine. Do you like champagne?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So anything bubbly?
Yeah. I would do some like Veuve Clicquot or something like that.
Oh, that's lovely. I do Brut, which is $150 a bottle.
Okay.
For Christmas.
Fruit. I want cheese with my grapes.
Oh yes, figs and dates.
Figs and dates and grapes. That's good.
Seedless grapes.
Now I want to see. We gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go make some breakfast.
Anyway, happy Wine and Cheese Day.
Yay!
With some nice cheeses in this city, like for instance, did you know that in my interview down at Arturo's, they make their own cheeses?
Mozzarella, I saw you making. Mozzarella is
and I also
queen.
understand that at the Great Big Lake Cabin, he brings in some pretty cool cheeses from Southern Ontario. There's a city down there, like a town. I forget the names of the towns, but there's some place down there that has really great cheeses, and he gets.
There's actually a spot north too. A very small community in Northern Ontario does their own cheese as well. And then don't forget the gentleman who is at Thessalon. There's a general store there.
Does he do cheeses?
He does cheese. Like he has 12-year-old cheddar. It's so flippin' good.
Really?
Yeah.
In Thessalon?
Little Rapids.
Gotta check it out.
In Little Rapids, yeah. It's a great store.
If you know some great cheese places,
send us some.
Send us an email to our new email address. It's called Lou and Tim Show
at gmail.com. Yeah.
I remembered.
Good for you.
Thank you. I checked yesterday. Nobody sent us an email.
Come on.
Kind of hurt my feelings.
Oh, I'm bumming out now. It's Tuesday. You still have time.
1836. Remember P.T. Barnum and Bailey?
Yes.
P.T. Barnum. This guy was a kind of a he had all the shows like
the circus. Animals.
Yeah, and people. Like,
yes, like the bearded lady.
He was almost like a precursor to what's that museum you go to? Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh,
P.T.
okay.
Barnum. He exhibited African-American slave Joyce Heth, claiming she was the 161-year-old nursemaid to George Washington. Well, now that's fake news.
Wow.
People bought that, though. They
need to do a carbon test on her.
Now that we know about carbon testing.
Yes, we're all showing off now.
161-year-old nursemaid to George Washington. Would you? I wouldn't want to be George Washington's. I wouldn't want to nurse George Washington. He had wooden teeth. You get splinters.
Oh, ow.
That wasn't the kind of nursemaid she was, I don't think.
No. Well, you never know. Plus, his wig might fly off in the middle of stuff. That would be like choppers and wigs flying. No, do your own mating.
Okay, so probably the biggest news coming out of New York and Hollywood right now is Harvey Weinstein. The 67-year-old producer has been convicted of 2 of the 5 charges. He's been found guilty of 1 count of criminal sexual assault against Project Runway assistant Miriam Haley in 2006. And then 1 count of rape in the 3rd degree against actress Jessica Mann in 2013.
I have to say, I was so relieved when I heard the news.
Well, because at one point the jury came back and said, we can't reach a verdict.
Yeah, we need you to, what if we're deadlocked?
Well, so the judge said, you go back there and try again. And now, okay, if you're in a jury and you come out and you say, we can't reach a verdict, and the judge says, go back and try again, wouldn't that be like an indication to you that the judge is saying, I'm not settling for hung?
Yeah, we're not going hung here.
In other words, you've got to come up with something.
Yeah, and generally speaking, on either side of an issue, people stand their ground, right? So the foreman's got a tough job, I can imagine, in a jury room, but then there's always the person who is at least a little bit more open-minded to the other side. So I guess that's what the judge is saying. Go work it out.
26 hours of deliberation.
Oh my word. And he could get like 25 years.
Well, okay, so he doesn't necessarily, minimum 5 years for the first charge with a maximum of 25.
Right.
Okay, the second charge, there's no minimum and a maximum of 4.
So he minimum could get 5.
Minimum of 5. He's going to jail for 5 years for sure.
Regardless.
Sure. Right. And then the second charge, there's no minimum. They're going to give him something.
Right.
So, but he's 67 years old and his health is well. On the way to Rikers Island, they put him in the hospital. Bellevue Hospital in New York. Chest pains and heart palpitations.
You think? Well, they cuffed him as soon as the verdicts were read, cuffed him and let him out without his walker. And you said
no problem walking.
Tim said, did you see the video? He can walk.
And not slowly, and not hunched over. He was standing completely upright like a human and not like the monkey that he is. He's an ape. Knuckles dragging on the ground.
Lech.
He was the original pooper scooper. His fingers dragged on the ground.
Imagine though. Ick.
What would you?
My word.
We just thought
those
about
2 poor women. 2.
Those 80.
Yeah.
Whatever many there were.
Boy, they come down hard.
They're going to appeal. His lawyers are going to appeal. Of course they are.
But then there's a ton more charges in L.A.
Oh,
still. That he has to face.
That's why Luann is smart and does the news. I didn't know there was still more. That was just New York.
That's just New York, baby. New York,
back
New
in
York.
LA, somebody else has been back to court. Jussie Smollett.
Oh yeah, he came out of the woodwork.
That he was beaten up, that he was gay bashed. 6 new counts of making false reports.
I wonder how they must have some pretty strong evidence to bring it back, right?
The Osenderos brothers have already appeared. The 2 guys that were the guys that beat him up.
Allegedly.
They're already in there. They're like everything's coming.
They've confessed to everything.
Everything. They want to.
And you know what? They are not small men. Boy, the one brother, like his arm is like this big.
One of them was Jesse's personal trainer.
Yes,
right? This is how he concocted the whole story.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, let's do this. Wow, that was disappointing. But not.
Well, we don't know yet, right? He's still.
I wouldn't be good on that jury because I'd be like.
You're doing this again? For me, though, imagine him. He's thinking, okay, this was a bad decision I made. Maybe. And, I'm moving on with my life, and then it gets called right back to it. Oh, that would be such a downer. I almost was gone.
This was really sad, too. Drew Carey's ex-fiancée.
Yes.
So her name was Dr. Amy Harwick, and on February the 15th, an ex-boyfriend of hers was not Drew Carey, that was her ex-fiancée. An ex-boyfriend was laying in wait in her apartment. And he strangled her, apparently. She fought him, apparently. And then she ended up going off the third floor balcony, pushed or jumped or escaped or during the fight. One way or the other, she passed away. He's been charged with murder.
And Drew Carey was devastated.
Said that they loved each other. The engagement didn't work out. They called it off, but there was still mutual love and respect. And he talked about the songs that he made her a mixtape. He had a radio show that he DJed.
Yes.
He made her did a whole show dedicated to her while she was alive. Told her, hey, I put this set together for you. And they listened to the songs. He said he remembers singing in each other's ears, dancing in their kitchen. He said he can't hear those songs anymore. And all the songs on that set anyway, he's taken time off when The Price is Right, and he's spoken out about how tragic it is. Oh my God, domestic violence.
Our best thoughts.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to cheer you up on today's show, for sure. I've got our friends from Clean North talking trash with Abby and Josh.
Awesome.
But today we're talking seeds. It's Seedy Saturday coming up.
Oh, good. I saw that.
Okay, very cool. And then also, we know about the new North Branch Library that's opened up. Kevin Maragli is here. Kevin is the archivist, and boy, he's a happy person right now because finally he's got the space he needs. This new library has done amazing things for our archival collection here in Sault Ste. Marie. Plus all that, plus Luann has the news. So please stay with us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. What is it?
Morning.
That's why it's called Mornings with Luann and Tim, and not Afternoons with Luann and Tim. Coffee, please. We'll see you in a minute.
Lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Angelo! It's me, Vito. Imbecile, your brother. Listen, you bring 10 gallons of flat eggshell or white paint.
This past year, we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
This is On TV.
Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. This is Kevin Maragli. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
I've known Kevin for a number of years personally. We're friends, but I never really knew about what you do. I mean, I knew that you were the archivist at the library.
Yes.
But I didn't know about your background. Tell me, you told me in the green room before, tell the audience about how did you end up, how does a person end up as an archivist? I don't even know what you study for that kind of stuff.
Well, there's probably multiple ways of doing it. How I got involved.
You did it the roundabout way.
Yeah. I originally went to Brock University. I completed my studies there, and I got a degree in archaeology.
Okay, archaeology,
yes.
which is like you're studying rocks and fossils and stuff, or what?
No, it's more
That's
like
geology.
Yes.
Fossils.
Yes.
No, what? Yes.
Paleontology.
What is it?
Paleontology.
Studying man, the history of man.
Yeah, no.
No.
So how my specialty?
I couldn't even apply to get in.
So my specialty was ancient Greek and Roman.
Okay.
So going through university, I realized I didn't want to be an archaeologist. I actually liked working with the artifacts. So one of my professors suggested I take museum studies courses.
Museum studies. Okay.
So then I went to Ottawa in Algonquin, and I got a diploma in museum studies.
Okay.
And almost immediately after I graduated, the position in the library posted for an archive technician.
You're from the Sault originally?
Yes.
So you went away to university and then you came back just at the right time, or were you already still in Ottawa when the job was posted?
I was in Ottawa. It came up online, so I applied.
Now, the archivist who was there before you, quite well known in Sault Ste. Marie, Linda Birch.
Yes.
Linda passed away, and that's why that job opened up. And I just had Linda's husband on the show, Michael, because he's the designer. Of course, he was the curator for the art gallery, and he designed that show "If We Were Birds" that's now playing what's it called? It's In Your Eyes Projects at Algoma University. I've heard amazing things about it. Go see If We Were Birds, Michael Birch. And anyway, so Linda passed away. You actually, there's a tribute right now to Linda going on at the new branch, yes?
Yes, Linda's family donated money for the display case that's in the viewing room, for the archive viewing room. So the first display was Linda's. So I did a
So Linda, I'm just thinking, a young guy like you, just out of university and college, and you come home and you've discovered that Linda Birch, she's a legend. She's left a legacy in Sault Ste. Marie. Huge shoes to fill. Were you intimidated when you walked into the job and went, "Oh my gosh"?
Yes.
Because she started. Did she not really?
The first collection started coming in '92, so she really pushed.
She really spearheaded the
creation of the archives at the library. Yeah.
Okay. So now you arrive and you're like, "Whoa, okay." Yeah. And then you see, this is 2008. Did you say?
I started 2008. Yes.
Okay. You arrive and you go down. Had you ever seen the archival space before?
No.
Okay. Tell where was it located in the library?
It was located in the basement.
Okay.
At that point, there was 3 rooms, small rooms, kind of.
More like walk-in closets? Storage rooms?
It was more like retrofit storage rooms. Okay. And at that time, we had 1 room at the Ministry of the Forest Ministry.
Oh.
That's where the Abitibi collection was. So soon after that had to be moved over, so we had to shift and make room for it.
So you arrived, you realized in 2008, like, this is crowded, and how are we going to continue to develop these archives when there's no space, right?
Yeah, the space was limited, so very soon after I started, we realized that the space was getting very constrained.
And then you, of course, had to familiarize yourself with everything that was there. Yeah. So you're having to just like...
Yep.
Would you say it was like a big game of...
It was a lot Tetris. Just going in game of Tetris.
A game of Tetris. You move a box, the box comes down, you shift the box.
So I pretty much walked into the room, started look at shelf number 1, and started going through and learning the collection.
So let's talk about what's in the collection. And do you have hard copy stuff like actual papers and stuff, or is it digitized? Is it a combination of both? How does that work?
We primarily have hard copy, though a lot of the hard copy is now being, we're looking back and selecting collections, or if we get a grant to have collections digitized.
Okay.
We still have all the hard copies in the collection, but
you were saying you didn't have the equipment back then originally, when Linda was around to do a lot of the scanning, right?
Well, scanning might have been problematic back in '92, but as time went on, we've managed to get grants and the technology to purchase or at least have partnerships.
So here you are trying to manage incoming stuff, and at the same time trying to catalog and scan and digitize the
older collections.
Yeah. That's busy times.
It is, yeah.
Was it helpful then to go from that cramped space, and it was, I mean, you can legitimately say you were in a cramped space, to now you have almost 4,000 square feet?
It's at least 3,000, yeah.
Wow, you must be in heaven.
It's a lot of empty, right now there's a lot of space that I have.
How nice!
Yeah.
And that's got to make things a little easier for you to be able to spread things out and say, okay, this hasn't been done yet, and especially with the move. What was the move like?
The move was quite quick.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, it was... It was busy. So I was getting all the plans done, getting that to the company that did all of that compact shelving, having that installed, and then planning where everything goes, coordinate between the shelving and the new shelving.
The construction of the new library and the new, now in particular the archival area where you are, that required some science too, right? I mean, it's got to be all just like your HVAC system and stuff, right?
So the HVAC had to be installed. So the new space is now climate controlled. So I have complete control over the climate. So if it's summer, winter, depending on fluctuations in humidity, I can keep at a set temperature and humidity. That way
How do you get archives? Where do they come from?
Most of it is from public or corporation. We have our biggest collections are the Algoma Steel collection, which is Algoma Steel itself, the Algoma Ore Division.
It's been around since the 1800s.
Yeah, and Algoma Central Railway, and the other major collection is the Abitibi collection.
Abitibi, which was before St. Mary's Paper.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, and then what about if somebody has, let's say I have a long history of family in Sault Ste. Marie. Someone passes away, and I come across something that I think is, ooh, this might be something that the library would be interested in. Do you accept submissions and do you assess stuff?
Yep. So what usually most people will do is I will get a call indicating that they have material that they would like to donate. I will then probably let them know, come into the library, bring the stuff, or maybe a sampling of the stuff,
right?
The material that they're wishing to donate. I'll look through it. If I find it something that's useful and I can collect, I'll usually say, yeah, bring it in. They'll sign a donation form.
Okay.
And then I start processing and getting it into the collection.
Okay, so now you mentioned the display case that Linda Birch's family funded. Do you rotate exhibits in the display case?
I will, yes.
You will.
Yeah,
so we'll see different things?
Yeah,
You'll do like themes or what?
Depending on, maybe I might, if something's going on, say like a Remembrance Day, I might do a military display because we do have some military material in the collection. So that might be round out maybe if something's going on in the community and I have a collection that kind of reflects that.
Nice, that's nice. Yeah. So where is that located in the library? Where do we find you? I mean, do you have an actual viewing room that we go? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we actually have a set viewing room. It's there's a window into it, so it's if you're in the main
Is it on
area.
The main floor?
Yeah, it is. There is
the viewing room's on the main floor. Is that where the case is, on the main floor as well?
Yep.
Oh, lovely. Okay, but you're down in the basement.
No, that was at Centennial.
So where are you now?
I'm on the main floor as well.
Where?
So it's in behind. So
in the back.
It's in the back. So the archive storage is in the back.
You never get to see Kevin's face unless he comes out with an archive for you. No. How do people get archives? First of all, why would somebody need an archive? What are the reasons that people access your collection? Our collection.
Well, a lot of the people that contact me are a lot of academia, so a lot of people writing books. I have a lot of organizations that are doing historical projects. They need the image for a book, they need an image for a website, or anything like that. So they'll look for collections or anything in the archives that will help them with their research. I have people that come in, I have some family material stuff, so if they're interested in maybe seeing, because we have
genealogy, that kind of thing?
There's a genealogy aspect to it. Like we have the ACR payroll ledger, so some people might want to see, what jobs their grandfather did or anything like that in there, what their payroll is and anything like that. So some of that can help with some genealogy.
And then I bet you get a university, a college, high school students writing papers and stuff, maybe sometimes?
We have, I know we have had people using our archives doing thesis, presentations and stuff like that.
How do we access this stuff? Who do we go? How do I find you in the library? What do I say? Do I go and say, where's Kevin?
That's a lot of what happens. But a lot of times, what we're doing now is like a lot of our photograph and map collections are now all completely digitized and actually on our online pack.
You can actually go online and see this stuff?
So if you were to go on there and search Algoma Steel, and then you can limit by historical
Is this like a library website?
Yeah, so it's like when you're searching through a book, you can do the exact same thing with the photographs. Or the
that's
maps.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're obviously in the back working, so if I come in and I do want to see archive, do I just go to a desk?
The service desk.
Go to the service desk and say, I'm interested in finding out about some archives.
Yeah.
And then do you come out to me and you chat with me in the library?
Yep. So I'll bring out finding aids, so there is finding aids, so I'll assist patrons if needed to kind of navigate our finding aids and kind of show them the collection, how to look for it, and then they'll fill out a form for requests, and then I'll fill it out. Yeah.
I'm so glad you came out. Helena, is she done yet? Is she finished?
Friday.
Friday's the last day. Helena Hopalainen, that's been a wonderful friend of our show, and she's an amazing woman. You must have had fun working with Helena.
Actually, I didn't start working working under her until I moved to the new branch.
Really? Oh,
I was in
I
reference
adore her,
to-
but tell her I said hi, and she really pushed to get Kevin on the show. She's like, Kevin needs to come and talk about his archives. So thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
I appreciate it. Nice
Right,
to see
no
you
problem.
again. And we'll be back with more. So you want to check out the archives? You know where it is? The North Branch Library.
North Branch Library now.
Located on Northern Avenue, just right around where the Boreal School is.
Right
You know
next to
where it is. Come on, you can find the library. Anyway, Kevin, thanks for being here, and we'll see you right after this with Luann.
This is On TV.
Hi, can I take your order? Hello?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. If you smoked weed, wait at least 4 hours before getting behind the wheel, or don't drive at all if you're new to it, have eaten it, or if you've mixed it with alcohol.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Imagine knowing about incidents, closures, and roadwork all before starting your trip. Ontario 511 lets you know before you go. You can get real-time information directly from the Ministry of Transportation. Because the more you know, the easier it is for you to go. And spend the time doing the things that matter most.
Now that's a pretty cool job.
Wow.
What?
Because
I'll bet you would love that.
I'm an organization freak.
Yeah.
Like, people think I have OCD. That would be so fun.
And
imagine all the like he gets to read things that people left behind.
Picture,
oh my gosh.
The only thing for me is though, I probably would not be good at that job because I would be too slow. I would want to go like, so look at this.
Yeah,
like I'd be looking at the pictures going.
You'd want to research the back.
I would, yes,
that's good though. That's what makes a good archivist.
Yeah. He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, he seems very, very cool, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And I am so relieved. I just read. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, I can't wait to find out what's going on.
The vagina candles are back.
Oh, for heaven's sakes,
Yes.
I'm so pleased because I didn't have that smell in my house for a long time.
Forever.
No, I was one of. Only 2 boys in our family, Lou.
Oh, I thought you mentioned your house currently.
Oh, no. In that house currently? No.
No, Gwyneth Paltrow was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
And she confirms that rest at ease.
Rest at ease.
Because it's back in stock.
What, did they sell out?
Mm-hmm. $75 candles to smell like a...
Hers though, is it hers that smells like, or just a generic one?
I don't know. I never thought of that. But Jimmy, like, who puts that stuff in? Jimmy Kimmel was teasing her and said, "You know what?
Fragrance in?
How do you put the fragrance in?
I don't know. I think you just put your legs in the air and stick a wick in it."
Porch fire. So Jimmy Kimmel apparently was teasing her because he said that it was false advertising because he bought one. for $75 flipping dollars so your house can smell like a whorehouse. And he says it's a little bit masculine. So she said, jokingly, sort of, well, it's not really supposed to smell like a vajayjay. He said, well, why would you call it that?
Marketing.
People
are curious.
Like, what are we doing? We're talking about it.
By the way,
I would not buy one of those for 75 cents. What the heck? That's why I shower every day, for goodness sake. I mean, sorry, okay, we're not going to talk about that anymore.
I was going to say, but see, the idea is that it's a pleasant smell. That's what you're also, I think.
Oh, sure.
Isn't part of it that you're trying to, like, get away from the fact that, you know, the old wives...
What old wives?
Old wives.
How old is it?
You don't want that old wives smell, tails. We want to make it, you know, we're updating.
We're trying to just put it all in the same basket and make it friendly and acceptable to
everyone.
Have your house smell like that.
Like a nice, it's where we came from. And
I'm so just scratching that out right now.
I don't think you should ever bring that back to me again, that storyline.
I'm going to buy you one for Christmas.
Could you imagine?
Make you burn it in your house.
And
you and Keith will be like, oh my God.
I don't even want to make the jokes. There's so many I can make right now.
Yeah.
You know,
let's change it.
Okay, let's change the subject.
The Kobe Bryant Memorial was very, very
okay, wait just now. Come on. You can't go from vagina candles to Kobe Bryant and expect me to follow you.
You know
like,
what? I can do anything.
Okay, wait, here we go. Go.
So Kobe Bryant's memorial was very, very touching. People like Michael Jordan, oh my word.
Did he speak?
He lost his brother and he has a hole in his heart and the tears were dripping off of his chin. These big men. Shaq was very upset. Jimmy Kimmel actually hosted this memorial and Christina Aguilera sang and Beyonce just nailed Halo, which was apparently his favorite song.
Where did you see this stuff? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Where was it at? Was it on a network?
It's a secret. No, it was on Entertainment Tonight last night. His wife Vanessa talked about how they couldn't be on this planet without each other. That's why God took them together. And she said, baby, take care of our Gigi.
Whoa. Okay, so listen, did this air on a network that, like, was this a show that people could watch on television?
I don't believe so.
No, this was a private...
Well, private, the media was obviously there.
Okay, I need to look. I want to hear those songs.
Like in a stadium.
Do you think anybody recorded those songs?
Oh my gosh, you can find it online.
Can I?
Beyonce and Christina Aguilera.
To go right now? We have to go.
Oh my gosh, we have to go.
I'm going to go during the news. I'm going to listen to that song.
Yes, please do.
Oh, the news is next.
Beautiful. Yes, the news is next. So I change again. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades including installation are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Protesters on the Canadian side of the International Bridge are still there this morning, blocking access to the bridge with a vehicle. Protesters set up the blockade at the entrance to the bridge plaza yesterday. City police are on the scene and have closed Huron Street from Queen to Albert. Motorists traveling to Canada from the United States are being directed to use the Queen Street West exit. And if Canadians want to cross from this side, they have to take Carmen's Way to the rear of the plaza and use the tractor-trailer entrance. Protesters say they represent the North American Indigenous from the Turtle Island Resistance. They say they are standing in solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en people in British Columbia who are against building a pipeline through their territory. Protesters here also mentioned that they've been on a boil water advisory for 20 years and want to be heard. With a teepee set up on site now, the group says they plan to be there for a long time. A police operation that saw officers descend on a rail blockade in Tyendinaga, Mohawk Territory in central Ontario, and arrest several protesters has cleared the way for train service to resume. The OPP says officers moved in yesterday morning after efforts to negotiate a peaceful resolution were exhausted and a midnight deadline to clear the blockade, which has brought freight and passenger rail traffic in much of eastern Canada to a virtual standstill, was ignored. Politicians hailed the police raid, but the use of force angered Indigenous leaders, community members, and advocacy groups who had hoped for a peaceful resolution. The protesters had set up the blockade in support of the hereditary chiefs of the Wet'suwet'en Nation, who opposed the development of a natural gas pipeline, as I mentioned, that crosses their traditional territory in northwestern British Columbia. CN issued a brief statement yesterday saying the company was pleased the illegal blockade had come to an end, but offered no indication when service would resume. Via Rail announced its route between Montreal and Halifax will resume service on Friday. Just after 11 yesterday morning, City Police responded to a call of a robbery in progress at Charm Diamond Center at the Station Mall, where shots were reported to have been fired. Most recently, City Police have not confirmed whether shots were actually fired in the incident. Police say one suspect was apprehended at the scene. Officers continue, of course, to investigate to determine if other people were involved. Victims sustained no physical injuries. The greenhouse gas, or GHG, inventory was presented to City Council last night to provide a baseline measure to work toward reductions. Climate Change Coordinator for Future SSM, Emily Cormier, said in the community portion of the inventory, almost 70% of emissions were industrial natural gas, which is on par with other industrial cities such as Hamilton. Car emissions only counted for 12%. Other causes of GHG emissions were propane and fuel oil, railways, solid waste, residential buildings, and commercial and institutional buildings. Cormier added that in the corporate inventory, more than half of all emissions come from fleet and equipment at 56%. A lot of those emissions come from snow removal. Buildings accounted for 34%, wastewater at 10%, and outdoor lighting at 0.4%. The building emissions came from natural gas. The recommendations to the city is to create a committee or stakeholder working group, educate the community about GHG, and incorporate the GHG inventory into the Sault Ste. Marie official plan update.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
This past year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
At Fit Bodies, Fit Minds, we want everyone to build a life that they love, and we teach you how to get the results you want in your mind and your body. Introducing our new small group classes to provide you with a happy and healthier life. Our small group classes are limited to 6 people to provide more personal coaching, while having the supportive group environment. Classes are 10 weeks, and each week you will receive fitness and nutritional guidance that are tailored to your needs. Fit Bodies, Fit Minds, we inspire you to move.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
You never know what we're going to talk about. For instance, we were just talking, I said to Tim out of the blue, because we were both raised Catholic, if he ever uses the Lord's name in vain.
For instance, saying Jesus Christ as a curse. Or
as a curse, or GD.
GD,
See, I can't even say it.
So, no, and I said, yeah, I do. But my father never did. My father would say,
did like
instead of saying JC, he'd say, Judas Priest.
That's a good one.
And they wouldn't say for Christ's sake, they would say for Pete's sake.
Yeah, or cripes, my mother always said.
Yeah.
My mom says cripes.
But I have an expression that I picked up over the years that Luann quite likes, and that's Jesus in the garden. That makes her laugh. But there's more to it. It's Jesus in the garden and mercy in my soul. I'm so hungry I could eat the leg off the Lamb of God.
Right? Now, if you're angry and you say something like that, how can you be angry at the end of it? For one thing, it's 18 hours long. And then, by the end of it, you have to be laughing and giggling. That's such a good idea.
And the one I got from our friend Sue Roy.
Yes.
Oh, for crying in the wilderness. Or I think she also said, oh, for crying in the sink. I love those too. Oh, for crying in the sink. Oh,
crying in the wilderness. Yeah. I like that.
Oh, for crying in the wilderness.
You know what I wanted to tell you
about?
Me what? 60 Minutes. I watched it on Sunday night. One of my favorite shows to watch.
Is that the one with
18-year-old pianist.
That's correct.
He's a prodigy.
So far we talked about vaginas and pianists.
Yeah, pianists. He's visually impaired. He's actually technically blind and has been since he was born. He was born like very premature, had a 50-50 chance of surviving. Mom was, of course, very worried. Started just playing piano when he was 3 years old. So this little baby had a play piano put in front of him because his grandpa bought it for him, and he instantly put both his hands on the piano, and I'm sure he wasn't playing like a full song, but he was using both his hands. So anyway, this guy is everywhere. He's playing these.
So how old is he now? 18 now?
He's 18. But there's the scientist who is actually following him and measuring his brain. So when he plays, because he's visually impaired, they're monitoring the vision vortex. And it's, they're talking to him and stuff, nothing's there because he's blind. So there's no activity in that part of his brain. But then when he starts to play the piano, it lights up like a Christmas tree.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? He's seeing in his mind, he's seeing the keys. Does that mean he can picture the keys in his mind
I don't know what that means.
His fingers feel them, and so the field gives him a...
But his whole, it's so interesting.
That is so cool.
Right? The brain.
Did you see the video of the lady having her brain operated on while she was playing the violin?
What?
Oh, Luann. She was having brain surgery. I think it must have been a tumor or something. They've got her skull is open, she's playing the violin because she's a concert violinist, and they didn't want to damage any of the nerves that allow her to play the violin. So they said, play the violin while we work on your brain, so they'd know if they touched anything that would make it not work, and they would not touch that anymore.
How phenomenal is that we can do that?
Just watch the video. You can see she's a lady lying on the operating table playing the violin while they've got their hair. You don't see the brain. You just see that she's got the curtain hanging there, and they're working away on her brain. The things we can do.
The things we can do and maybe shouldn't.
Well, here's some things we should do. We should go to CD Saturday and do a seed exchange and buy some seeds, and we should also worm compost. Wait until you hear about this.
Worm composting. It's very effective.
I need to know more, and so do you. So that's why Abby and Josh are here from Clean North coming right up after this. And thanks, KC Security, for sponsoring our show.
Angelo, it's me, Vito. Imbecile, your brother. Listen, you bring 10 gallons of flat eggshell white paint.
Boy, the things we talk about, eh? We're talking about, we have to do a voice check before we start, so we count to 10, and so this show up over here does it in 5 languages. And then she starts going in German, and I'm like, I can sing in German. In einem Bächlein helle, der schossen frohe Reil.
It's about a trout.
It's about a trout.
It's about a trout.
The Germans will sing about anything.
Those wacky Germans.
And I had to learn that because at Algoma University, when you learn music, you also have to learn to sing in languages. So there you go.
That's crazy.
Thanks, Paul Dingle.
The more you
Aggie
know.
McCarthy.
The more you know.
Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The more you know. Tell us about CDs. Where's my seeds? He always brings me stuff. I love when they come on the show because I get stuff. Okay, so they're going to do a shot of these seeds, but I hold them up there.
Okay.
What are these seeds and where they come from and what goes on CD Saturday?
Okay, I'll start telling you a little bit about CD Saturday. It's this Saturday at Sault College, and CD Saturday is the premier gardening event in Sault Ste. Marie every year. It's the kickoff to spring, and you can go to CD Saturday. If you have seeds that you've collected that you would like to trade with other gardeners,
Seeds like
you'll
this
have that opportunity.
for the lettuce leaf poppy.
Right.
So people collect seeds, Abby?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Especially with some of my flower seeds. Some plants are very easy to collect seeds from. I collect them, I trade them with friends.
I'm going to have to ask you about that because I do have a number of plants, and I don't know which ones are. Oh wait, but only the plants that come from seeds give seeds off. Is that right?
No, that's not true.
That's not
Okay,
true
so
at
now
all.
you see, I don't know this. I'm glad that you're here.
We'll come back and do a session all about
On how to collect seeds.
Yes, we will.
Okay, so if you are a seed collector like Abby, you go to Sault College. What time on Saturday?
It starts at 10. The first hour, gardeners will have an opportunity to input their seeds, and then there'll be like a half an hour where gardeners that brought seeds can trade with other gardeners. And then
So it's like
after
a seed
that-
co-op.
Right. And then after that, seeds will be available to everybody for sale at a very low price.
Very low price.
Yes.
Very low.
I got a question. You're in the science building. That's the newest one, right?
Right.
So that's easy to find, right off of Northern Avenue.
Yes, and Clean North will be there with our worm composting exhibit.
Yes.
Okay, so now this
Worm
I did
composting.
not know about either. I feel on the one hand I'm excited when you come here. On the other hand, it depresses me because I feel dumb.
Well, that's why we're here.
Okay.
To educate.
The more you know.
The more you
Tell
know.
me about worm
composting. You can do it indoors.
This is okay. I like the idea about indoors all winter long. I don't have to go out in the snow and like move snow off my composter. Tell me how I do this.
Okay, so you remember how we were talking about coir before?
Coir is the really light soil that takes a lot of water.
So we'll be selling that there at City Saturday.
Okay.
$20 a brick. And so that goes into the worm composter. And the worm composter is a wood base with wheels, and it's like a tote.
Do you buy a wood compost? I mean, do you buy the compost, or does Clean North sell them, or do we make them?
We do sell them.
You actually sell them? What?
We can also tell you how to make them,
How
and
to
it would
make
be
them.
cheaper. But if you want it already pre-made,
I
we
want
do
it
sell like
pre-made.
that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so.
And it comes with the worms too.
Shut up. What are you talking about? Wait, if I go to Clean North, I can actually buy the box, and then I can come there and buy the brick, and the worms are in the box.
They have
Like a
two,
whole kit?
They have 2 worm composters. They take some worms from those and put it into yours.
Like seed worms.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And they reproduce. They
starter.
reproduce fast.
They do?
Oh yes. So it won't matter how fast, like
Okay.
or how many you get. They reproduce.
So that's going to be in my house.
Oh yes.
That's me in my house?
Yes.
In a box?
Yes.
They don't get out. The worms?
If you don't feed them, they'll try to get out.
Well, I'm going to feed them. The whole point is I feed them what? Am I feeding them eggshells, coffee grass? What do I feed them?
Mostly you looking at organic stuff like fruits and veggies, like like the scraps. Like say you have potatoes or something, and you
Yes.
you're
I
scraping
just
off the
yesterday
skin.
made scalloped potatoes, and I had
There you
all
go.
the potato shavings
There
that
you
I could
go.
have fed the worms.
And something like that, you put in a plastic baggie,
Lettuce
you
that
put it
goes
in the
brown?
fridge, so you freeze it. You freeze it.
I freeze it?
Yeah, you freeze your food.
Yeah.
And then you dig a hole on one side, and you put the frozen food in there, and then you bury it. Then the next week you switch over. You do that so there's no fruit flies.
Oh.
I didn't know that. That's how you prevent fruit flies.
You freeze the stuff, then you bury it. The fruit flies can't get at it, but the worms can.
Mm-hmm. And then you switch the sides.
How big is this box, Josh?
Well, there's a smaller one and there's a bigger one.
Can you show me with your hands?
The smaller one is about there, and the bigger one is like a tote.
Oh.
Like.
Okay, if I have an uninsulated front porch, no good. It can't freeze, can it? What? Like if my front porch goes down below zero,
They'll be pretty sluggish.
Yeah.
it needs to be.
They won't like it.
Could I put it in my basement then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I would have a room in my basement for a worm composter.
100%.
That would be really good.
And then after
then I've got my soil in the spring.
You get compost out of it, like full. 100%
Beautiful compost.
Beautiful compost.
But wait a second. What happens to the worms? How do I get the compost out without taking the worms and use the compost in my garden?
There's a way.
I gotta sort through it.
Yeah. There's a way you can trap.
Actually, what you do is you find a child to sort it for you. And by the way,
pull the worms out.
Bring your children to CD Saturday, and they can sort worms.
That's one of the things they're doing.
Worm sorting?
Yes.
For the kids?
You go and you figure out how to do it, and you're all set.
That means I gotta get a kid. Okay, I'll work on that.
Just borrow somebody's.
Yeah, but that's absolutely. I'm not having my own. Just to get some worms out of a box. Okay, listen. What else did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the Clean North Awards.
What is that?
Clean North has instituted a brand new awards program, and there's 4 categories for adults, high school students, elementary students, and businesses. And the nomination deadline is March 31. And what we're looking for is for people to nominate others who show environmental leadership in our community. And we're going to give out the awards on Earth Day in April.
Tell me again the categories.
Adults,
high
school students, elementary students, and businesses. So we're looking for somebody who's like the Greta Thunberg or Autumn Peltier of Sault Ste. Marie.
Right?
Exactly.
Get your nominations in there.
Or a business that you walk into and go, okay, I love the fact that you are so big on recycling, that you don't have plastics, that you don't do single use, that you've gotten rid of all straws, that you, right?
Very big recognition for the environmental people of Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes.
Okay. And so do they get a plaque?
The businesses get a trophy, but there is a cash prize for the other 3 categories. I can't remember the exact amount. Yes.
That's nice.
Yes, so hopefully they can use that money to invest in future environmental endeavors, or go to school for the youth to go maybe as a little scholarship to go to university and study environmental science.
Scholarship.
Sorry, it's
no, I love it. I love that. I love that you're an international celebrity. Question again then about nominations. Tell me how again? Do I go online?
You go to cleannorth.org, and we have a web page devoted to this. It's very easy. Very easy to do.
Do you have on that website? Do you have stuff like how to worm compost? Do you have, or are there links or anywhere? Like, how do I find out that stuff?
You can email us. We have a booklet, and we can email
you. You have a booklet.
Yes.
I think that's a really cool thing. I've always wanted to compost because I do love to garden, and I want to get into more vegetables and stuff because I don't do that right now, and I've got the space. So, CD Saturday again, 10 o'clock until 11 is for the people who exchange seeds.
Yes.
11 o'clock, the public's invited.
Yep.
All ages, bring your kids, go through some worms, and buy some seeds at really, really good prices. And Josh, thank you for this. My lettuce leaf poppy. And it comes with all these instructions. Once again, I'm learning all this stuff. Freeze the seeds, then plant them in the winter. Mary's Bees and Crafts. Let's plug Mary.
Yes.
Since the seeds came from Mary, she's down the line.
Yes.
Where is she?
She's in Echo Bay, and she's at the Algoma Farmers Market.
Oh, she comes into town, and we can meet Mary at the Farmers Market at Roberta Bondar Pavilion.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is it at Wellington Square in the wintertime?
Is that where they are?
I think that's where they are, but
we better look that up. Yeah, we'll get that to you in just a minute. Thanks for being here, Josh. We'll see you at rehearsal for the Adams Family.
Yes.
And we'll see you the next time you're here on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Abby and Josh from Clean North. We'll be right back to say goodbye with Lou after this.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, there is hope and there is help. You matter. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The calls are free and confidential. Call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. You are not alone.
Tomorrow's show, it's Wellness Wednesday.
Yay.
Shadows of the Mind Film Festival is coming to Sault Ste. Marie. They're gearing up, and so Bill McPherson joins me to talk about some of the selections for this year. And also on the show, I've got Entomica has a brand new grand opening coming up.
Because they moved, right?
They did, and we were there on location. Yes.
Very exciting, all those bugs.
And you'll be here with the news?
I'll be here with the news as always, and we certainly hope that you have an awesome rest of your Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to let us know what you'd like to see. Lou and Tim Show at gmail.com. Bye.